I just audited 100 calls from my AI voice agent in just 30 seconds. But before today, this would have taken me and my team over an hour of manual testing. Retell AI just launched a brand new feature that's going to completely change how we evaluate and build our voice AI agents. And today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to use it, as well as actually evaluate the test results so that you can start using this brand new feature today. If you're new here, my name is Tommy Chris. I'm the founder of Rose AI, where we've automated over 400,000 calls using voice AI systems like the one that I'm about to show you in this video. And let's hop right into it. So this video will be on how to effectively test your voice agents. Um, but first, I want to address the actual biggest problem with voice AI, which is this testing and iteration of agents. And that's because, at least in our own agency, we've seen that manual call testing actually takes about 50% of the development time for these agents. And the reality is, and I've talked about this in other videos, that these voice AI agents, they might sound good when you first build them and when you're testing them yourself, but when they actually get out into the wild, it's a completely different story. So at our agency, we actually have a very thorough and rigorous call testing process, and that's why it takes so much time. It's just because it's very important to actually make a quality agent. And so what I've actually seen, because I have a community of other agency owners that I talk with and sort of help grow their agency and build these agents, is that most agencies test under 1% of the actual calls. It's not like our agency was testing significantly more than 1% either. The reality is that when you're manually listening to calls, you only have so much time. And especially when you're working with a company, or you are a company that is taking or handling thousands of these calls, it's not realistic to listen to everyone. And so because of that, most cases actually slip through, which just causes faulty agents and recurring problems that should be preventable if you're able to identify and fix them. But there's just such a high volume of calls that you aren't able to. And so that's why this testing is really important. As well as most testing criteria that people use is actually just subjective. It's just them listening to the call and thinking like, oh, do I actually like it or not? Does this sound good or not? Which I think is necessary. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to analyze actual hard data and statistics to help you make educated decisions on how to alter your voice agents and make them as high quality as possible. And so let's actually run a test. So here I am in Retell AI, and this is my own workspace. And if you come down to this left side to AI Quality Assurance, you'll see a different screen before you've run any tests. But cool thing about Retell, they actually give you 100 free minutes of quality assurance testing, just so that you can dial it in without spending a ton of money. It costs 10 cents per minute that you evaluate per minute of call, which is actually about the same amount of time as the agent costs to actually run and take the call. So you could assume if you're running, sample batches, that however many calls you want to evaluate, whatever the cost of all those calls were to actually run with AI, will be the same to actually evaluate all of them. So you can enter a cohort name. So this is basically just like a sample test of you grabbing all these calls that you're able to filter here. So I'll show you how to do that. I'm just going to name this test 2. You can, obviously name it better conventions. But I'm going to do my Rose AI Witty Receptionist, which is actually the AI that exists on my website. And so people actually say a bunch of goofy stuff to this AI, so you might see some interesting conversations in there. And I'm curious to see the statistics from it. But side note, if you would like to work with us, definitely book a call and see how we can actually help you build one of these voice agents if you don't want to do it yourself. But back to Retell, you select your agent here, and then you have to select a date range. So let's say I just want to go from the start of the year till today. It will tell you exactly how many minutes and the estimated cost of all those minutes to actually run the QA. So this will cost about $8 because there's about 80 minutes of conversations it's evaluating. I would recommend keeping your call duration at least over 30 seconds, maybe longer, depending. So, because you don't want to grab a bunch of voicemails, that's not really data that you care about. You want to make sure people are actually talking to the agent. And then, in terms of disconnection reasons, you can also sort by that if need be. And then you can also filter by any post-call analysis. And so this agent doesn't actually have one. However, if you're running some sort of campaign where you want to evaluate, good versus bad leads versus uninterested leads, you can actually run, a targeted campaign for all the leads that were uninterested and maybe evaluate what went wrong on those calls. But I am not going to be doing that. So you see, after we actually define the cohort, what we then have to do is determine the conditions for what a successful call is, as well as the key performance metrics that we want to test against. So this evaluated condition is actually very similar to the post-call analysis that you might be doing already in your agent. If you aren't familiar with that, I will describe it right here. Um, Basically, you're able to create these conditions with a name and it'll return basically like a yes, no, true, false. And so, I could have something like good lead. Uh, I could say the person indicated they wanted to book a call. And I would actually prompt it much more structured than this so that, the AI doesn't hallucinate and think things are good leads when they're not. But another description you can see here is the call successful, and this is provided by Retell. Evaluate whether the agent seems to have a successful call with the user, or the agent finishes the task and the call is complete without being cut off. And so you can see these are basically just prompted in, and Retell's own AI will evaluate the transcript and tell you whether these conditions were met or not. So whether someone indicated they wanted to book a call or not, or whether the call was successful and not cut off. Now, moving on to these performance metrics is where it becomes a lot less subjective and, well, actually completely not subjective. These are just hard stats. And so I actually will explain to you what all of them are right after I run this because I have that in my presentation. But I'm going to select a few of these. And so you can see you have a bunch of different drop downs to choose from. And then you have potentially different stats for each bucket. So the latency bucket has this P50, P90, and I'll explain what these are in a second. And then if you want to go to perhaps agent hallucination, you have both rate and count. So I'll just add count there. And then perhaps we want agent naturalness, and rate is the only option for that one. And then you're actually able to configure the actual threshold that you want to evaluate for over here. And I'd recommend, especially if you're not familiar with any of these statistics yet, and again, I will explain them in a moment, just keeping these at the sort of Retell baseline. They've already found these statistics for you and what numbers are generally the most applicable. And you really wouldn't know what numbers to put in here unless you've run a couple of these samples, evaluated the results, and really know what you're working with. And so I'll add one last one. So let's say tool call inaccuracy and then count. And so I'm going to hit save and run QA, and that will automatically start running for me right here. Now onto the fun part, the key metrics. So this latency P50 that you saw is actually the median response time, where about 50% of responses are faster and 50% are slower. So this is basically the average latency it's finding for you. Now, you also saw the P90 through 99. I believe 95 was also in there as well. This basically follows a normal distribution curve, or a bell curve, a lot of you guys might know it as, where you basically have uh, standard deviations that separate it, and this is sort of a statistics thing, and I might butcher some of it, but basically these are all percentiles. So the P95 is actually two standard deviations, and that would cover 95% of all latency. And so the number you see for that will actually be a higher amount of latency. So let's say our P50 is 1 second. Then our P95 might be 2 seconds, which means only 5% of all our conversations were over 2 seconds in latency. Or another way to think about that is 95% of our conversations were under that 2 seconds. And then the P99 catches like these real like tail end outliers where, maybe only one or two conversations hit, that threshold, and maybe that's 3 seconds of latency. And so this P50, P95, P99 and latency is one of the most important statistics to measure because that's one of the biggest giveaways that something's AI is it responding very slowly. Next, we have the word error rate, which the way this is calculated is they add any substitutions of errors, substitutions of words, insertions of different words, or deleting certain words in the transcription. And then they basically just like divide that by the total words and multiply it by 100 to get a percent. And that evaluates how many words were incorrectly transcribed. Uh, and then next up is the hallucination rate, which is the percent of AI responses with either incorrect or fabricated information that was not supported by context. And then we also have tool call accuracy, which is the percent of correct tool call invocations at the actual appropriate times. And again, Retell's actually using a separate AI to go back and evaluate all these calls once more to get all these statistics. Now, some more metrics we have. We have knowledge-based recall, which is the percent of relevant knowledge-based metrics or entries successfully retrieved and used. We have user or agent sentiment. These are actually two different statistics, which actually examines the emotional tone of the speech content, tone and pitch. So basically sees like, okay, was the user, neutral, positive, negative, and was the agent neutral, positive, negative? And it examines how often they are. And then we have the interruption count, and this is very simply the times the user cuts off the agent, which might indicate some turn-taking issues, and you can tweak the settings from there. And then transfer success rate, which is just very simply the percent of calls successfully handed off to human agents. And then I know this might be a bit boring, but it's really important to understand everything you have available to you. And so next we have the natural tonality rate, and this is actually the last slide on these metrics, which is the percent of speech that actually sounds human-like, where the pronunciation, intonation, and pacing was, good, sound like a human. The transition accuracy, which is the percent of correct conversation flow between different nodes or states. So, if you're not familiar, there are single prompt agents, and then there are conversational flow agents, which have like these different nodes where based on different criteria, you're going to go to a different node. This basically examines like how accurate that is. Then we have custom tool latency, which finds the average execution time for custom functions. And lastly, we have any transcribed entities, which is the count of incorrectly transcribed names, dates, and numbers. And so let's actually look at the data we just got from Retell. So we can see the test is not fully done yet. So I guess I was a bit ambitious with the 30 seconds in the beginning, but it's completed about half of the calls, just under half. And we can start looking at these metrics now. So you can see the average score we got was 77. Now you can control the weights of the score, and the score really doesn't mean anything unless you have something to compare it against, a different data set of the same agent. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Now the call resolution rate, you can see is only 12%. Again, this is just an agent that lives on my website that people say a bunch of silly things to. And so I really don't expect the resolution rate to be high. There actually aren't any transfers, so these statistics are irrelevant for this agent. This is a really cool section though. We're able to see the top questions from the user and the resolution rate of those actual questions. So can you tell me more about Arose AI? It seems like it resolved every single time that someone asked that. But when asked what services do you provide and how much they cost, that only hits at 50%. So maybe I have to go back into the AI and add more information about what services I provide and how much they cost. And then you can see some of the other questions. Who is Tommy? It's a very good question. I wonder that a lot. Um, and then how can you help me? Now down here, you can see more of the statistics we were talking about. The average latency was 1.5 seconds. The LLM hallucination rate was about 9%. I think that's a bit high just because they're asking a lot of questions that the AI really just is able to answer. Like, can you help me plan and create a conversational AI tool? Might be makes up for that. Then the knowledge base recall is sitting at 100%, where that just means I have a good knowledge base, I suppose. And then, sorry, I'm a bit sick right now, so this is like a lot talking for me. But I want to get this video out. The negative sentiment rate is generally pretty low, 1.71%. And you can see, all the breakdowns here. The average interruptions is 0.52, which is really good, pretty low. The agent is natural tonality is good, so it sounds a lot like a human. The positive sentiment, and then the word error rate is 8.84%. And so you can see here, you're able to see this entire overview. You're also able to go in and see each call specifically and all the information related to it. So this call, you can see passing with 100, and anything under 100 considers a fail. So this one is the lowest score. And we can see everything it messed up. And we can go here and see there's a transcription error where it said, "What's up, you provide?" But the corrected transcript is, "What services do you provide?" But the AI actually saw, "Hey, what's up?" So there we go. We're able to listen to that there and see each issue specifically. So this issue, this actually had 3 issues, where the original transcript said retail, but the corrected transcript said Retell. Original transcript said chat dash, where it's supposed to be chat dash one word. And the original transcript here said labs, when it's supposed to be 11 labs. And so this just gives you a ton of information about how to go in, make educated decisions on how to edit your AI.
What services
And
do
this
you
is really
provide and how
important
much do they cost?
because these systems aren't deterministic. They won't do exactly what we expect every single time. And the best way to get them as close to that as possible is to evaluate real hard data and make changes based on that and continue to test and evaluate these calls. And so I know I will definitely be in here making a lot of changes to my agent based on this information from this testing. But I do want to mention some common pitfalls that I want you guys to avoid when creating these. Don't obsess over getting perfect 100% scores every time. Focus on actually having an effective agent. If your agent is working, like, don't feel like you have to over engineer it or go in and try and fix something that's really not a problem, because that can end up harming you more than it actually helps. Also, um, don't ignore the context behind any metric changes. There may be something that really doesn't have to do with the agent that causes these metrics to be lower. In my example, my agent just lives on my website. It is really for people who are curious to talk to an AI agent and isn't meant to be super helpful. It's meant to be somewhat helpful, but I sort of made it a bit, witty, terse in its responses and just sort of recommend people book a call with me. So I'm not expecting it to have, 100% hit rate in resolving every case. I want it to be there as a demo. Definitely avoid making prompt changes based on just like a single edge case, because sometimes, as you add more to a prompt, say you add this extra line down here, which might fix, a 1 in 1,000 edge case, it actually hurts this line of the prompt. Maybe this line, only operates at 50% efficiency. And then, this important line of the prompt that, the agent's supposed to do every time isn't performing every time because it has like all this extra information. And so let edge cases be edge cases. But if it's something, really important, then obviously go in and fix it. And make sure to set realistic success thresholds for your use case. It'll be really difficult to have 100% of calls resolved all the time, especially if you just built the agent. And so with that being said, if you want support as you build your agents, definitely join my community. I respond to pretty much every post. You can see a little purple